Hello there, friends. Just a quick warning. This podcast will have swear words in it, and a lot apparently. Welcome to OK What Podcast, the world's least qualified support group and a popcorn pour production. I am Candice, your OK What host, and it's time to get chit-chatty. Howdy, partners. Welcome back. We're at episode 7. I'm sticking to it this time. Well, how can I say that? I've got 2 episodes under my belt since the rebrand. But 7 altogether, I mean, fuck. I did promise myself that after 10 episodes, then, I could start doing some other stuff like making an Instagram, which I think is like baseline now. If I'm thinking about branding and how we might work a business, I mean, social media is a pretty baseline, but fuck it. I'm not going to put my energy into that, I said, until I've got 10 episodes. Once I've got 10, the wheels are on the cart, we're rolling, then maybe I can give it some love. But yeah, 7 episodes. Thanks. If you're here still, or if you've just arrived, thank you. I am sticking to something finally. Yeah, that's been a big problem of mine. I have all these great ideas and I get so amped up about these ideas and they feel so good. And I put all this energy into it, like I'm saying, 12-hour days, just making sure this whole ecosystem of a business is set up. And then I'm like, oh shit, now comes the grind. Now I've actually got to put in the effort to make this grow. And that's when I lose interest. And it's sad. No, it's not sad. I mean, it's sad for me. I mean, what am I trying to say? It's sad that I lose interest and I don't push it anymore. But this is fucking different. I'm telling you, this is different. I'm going to push this because I enjoy it. God, I enjoy it. It's like video diarying, I'm not really great at journaling on paper. This is my journal. Oh, whoop. Like sticky notes fucking everywhere. There's my journal. But I am good at talking. And so this is kind of like a little video journal of mine. And I'm going to keep doing it because it feels fucking good and I like doing it. And it's really interesting, actually, to learn about all this stuff, like this microphone. Okay, I had a really shitty microphone. It's here somewhere. It was a Yeti Blue. Some people swear by it, but I could never figure it out. You could use this little blue setting on it and then I would be talking and thinking I'm like recording this episode, like epic episode. And then I go back to look at it and somehow it's just cut out halfway through. So we've got these wavelengths that are like this and then these wavelengths that are like this. And I'm like, okay, I'm not a genius when it comes to post-editing shit. I don't know how I'm going to fix this. Anyway, so I forked out the money for this bad boy. Probably should have spent it on other things like rent, but fuck it. Let's spend that money. No, but I think it was an investment because it's an investment into myself. That's what I say about everything, and I shouldn't. Not that I'm a big spender. I really don't spend that much money, to be honest. I'm a bit of a money hoarder. I've got a bit of a money hoarding issue. I squirrel it away. Not that my savings account is massive. It's really not, which then goes into the times right now. Everything's a bit of a struggle, which kind of brings me into the whole focus of this episode. Why is shit getting so hard? Obviously, there's the whole economy, whatever that is, the money coming in and out. But why is shit getting harder? And I thought about this over the weekend. I'm like, okay, is it just that I'm getting more mature and I'm understanding how money works and I'm realizing my clock's running out, I'm going to be retired and have I got a 401k? Have I got a savings account that's big enough? Am I going to have to live nowhere? Like, where do you live? Okay, so that was the thought. I get older and maybe I'm being more conscientious about money, which is making it feel like it's getting more tougher, or things are getting tougher. I guess things are getting tougher. I live in the States now. Whoa, there is a ding going off on my trading view. Look at that. I'm interested in the stock market. Maybe we can cover that later. Anyway, but where was I going with that? I'm older. Oh, that's right. I'm living in the States now. And shit is expensive. Like, I mean, okay. My brain's firing. There's so many areas I want to talk about right now. Things are expensive, like Safeway during COVID. I was lucky enough to be in the States during COVID. Yep. And I remember going into Safeway and seeing things jump $1 at a time for stupid items like dunny rolls. But yeah, going into Safeway and things suddenly got like $1 more expensive. Dunny roll, $1 more expensive. And when you're buying that stuff every week like I am. Okay, maybe I have a usage problem. I don't know. But it's like it adds up. And then I remember Safeway Safeway, in case you're not from the States or you're not from the west side of places. I don't know if Safeway's on the east side. I really don't know. But it is like a grocery store, like a Woolworths or a Coles if you're Australian. Standard grocery store, mid-tier, I would say, except it's not fucking mid-tier because you get these receipts and it says you've saved $50. Save $50, but my freaking bill's like $250. Okay, maybe not $250. I don't spend $250 at a time on groceries. Anyway, but the point is, shit is more expensive. But something that I have found is, if you want to be frugal, there are ways of being frugal. Like, for example, there's this place called Grocery Bargain Warehouse, something like this, Grocery Bargain Warehouse. Yeah, I never remember the name. Actually, my husband bullies me all the time. He's like, oh, we go into Grocery Bargain Warehouse. Okay, so this, I don't know how it works. Here's my idea of how it works. It gets all of the stuff that are kind of close to expiration from places like Whole Foods, Safeways, Fred Meyer's, all these other grocery stores, and then it will put them on their shelves and sell them for like a massive discount. And so I've just found this store, and that's where I shop, and I'm saving loads. Like, for example, my groceries, just on my own. I generally get my own groceries. My husband gets his because I try to eat really well. He is an ectomorph. He is tall and skinny. I put on the pounds quite easily, and I tried eating like him for the last 4 years, and it didn't go well. It hasn't gone well. And so now I'm trying to backpedal and, get all this US weight off, and it's really fucking hard. And anyway, so the point of that was that I buy my own groceries. And my grocery bill generally for the week is around $100. And I'm not skimping. I don't know. What is $100? Is that good? I follow the frugal shoppers on Reddit, and some of these guys pick up amazing whole week hauls for $100. But for me, I can feed myself and eat really nicely for $100 a week because I go to Grocery Bargain Warehouse. And I'm not ashamed of it. Like, it's not above me or below me, whatever it is. But it is funny because we were with some friends and we're talking about like where we shop. And I used to love Trader Joe's. I could also eat for about $100 a week at Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is like, they have all their own brands, and you know that everything that they've got is generally really good. It's free from bad stuff, whatever the bad stuff is. I mean, you just still have to look at the labels. Some of it's white labeled stuff, but it's generally pretty good stuff. Back to Grocery Bargain Warehouse. So that's where I shop. And I was telling my friends where I shop, and it was like, oh, you shop there? Oh, how do you find it? Like, a little bit of an ew. But I'm like, whatever, man. So long as the stuff's not expired. All right, here's a bit of a side note. There are dangers to shopping at the Grocery Bargain Warehouse. And we have pizza, so we make our own pizza. And so I bought a little packet of anchovies. My husband loves anchovies on the pizza. Kind of like the Futurama episode. I don't know if you've seen that. And Fry has the last freaking can of anchovies, but there was all this hoo-ha, and I don't think they ever got eaten in the end. And he could have been a billionaire, but he chose the anchovies. Anyway, we bought these anchovies. I think it was $1 for a packet of anchovies. I might be stuffing my teeth right now. I'm sorry. I'll blur it out. And I peeled back these anchovies to put on the pizza. And the smell, the rancidity of this freaking single can of anchovies. So there are dangers to shopping at Grocery Bargain Warehouse. You just have to look at the dates. You'll be fine. She'll be right. And it's so funny because obviously I'm a bit older now, and I'm aware of money going in and out and where it should be going and what I need money for. But when I was like in my 20s, like living la vida loca, living it up, I didn't have as much money as I did now. My career wasn't kind of in full swing. I was traveling. I did travel the world for quite some time. But I was like, I didn't have that much money, but I was so happy without the money. How the fuck did I get around? I don't know. But I did not give a shit about my superannuation account, which is the Australian equivalent of a 401k. Also the employers contribute for you. So I never really saw it. And then one day I logged in, I'm like, oh, God damn, there is some money. Not that much money, to be honest. I would say 25% of what the average person my age would have in their account in Australia, but whatever. Now I'm putting it into a 401k, which also doesn't have very much money in it, but it's okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. See, hard. Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't give a shit about this when I was 21. I mean, maybe you're not supposed to. Although I am seeing a lot of kids who are really conscientious now. They're in their early 20s and they're thinking about their futures and worried about buying houses and stuff. Girl, I am still not worried about buying a house. Oh, man. Is that sad? I don't know. Because now, I'm not that I'm not worried about it. It would be interesting. I mean, a quadplex, right? Something that you buy and you can rent out the other areas and you could just live in one rent free. I mean, that sounds pretty fucking good. But you need the capital to start with, right? And the ones that are genuinely affordable right now, you like this? See that? That's a fucking jug. That is a lot of water. I'm supposed to drink that all in one day. I don't know how that's going to happen. What is it? It's 11 a.m. I mean, I'm doing all right, but I feel like I'm flooded my body. Okay, so I'm drinking water. But yeah, the houses, like say you want to buy a quadplex. The only ones that would really be affordable is in the middle of Ohio. And, there's nothing wrong with that, but I need to have access to kind of creatives. I need to have access to an airport so I can get to places for my job. I don't know. Beggars can't be choosers. I mean, if you can afford $100,000 quadplex, why the fuck wouldn't you buy one in Ohio? I am just being a fucking idiot. So yeah, shut up, Candace. But okay, say you wanted one in a place that you're at. I want one in Seattle. No chance. $1 million. $1 million. I mean, that's just for a house. It's a house in the old suburb that I was living in. Up to $1 million, maybe even more for these houses. I wasn't living in $1 million house. I was living in a cool little complex that was made up of these like terraced houses. And they were old school, fucking old school. They were from the naval era. It was old military housing. So it had wooden floors and, it was pretty run down, but it had so much character. And we had a really nice view. It was, and I boast about this, the cheapest rent in the neighborhood. And I kept looking. Every month I'd look, and I never found a cheaper rental. And we scored it because I'm a frugal bitch. I should have a house at this point, really. I've been frugal enough. Where is all the moolah? Maybe I need to earn more. A boss of mine once said, he was a good mentor. He said, with the rising costs, there's only one solution. Just earn more. Okay, cool. I'll just go and earn more. Starting a business. Oh, wow. We have come full circle. Back to my many businesses that I have started and stopped because I've lost interest. It's not that I have lost total interest, because what I find is I keep cycling back. So let's give you some context. I have around about six little businesses that are side hustles, right? I would say they're hobbies. So my main business is that I'm a designer. I say it in every episode, just in case anyone forgot. But I'm a designer and I am a contractor. So it's similar to freelancing, I suppose, except I have contracts with these companies and I work on kind of permanent basis. A few hours for this person, a few hours for this person, blah, 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 blah. And it ends up being a nice, full-time sort of wage. But what I do with my hobbies, because I just love creating things and getting excited about new ideas and making them boom and seeing what problems I could solve. What I'll do is have this new idea. I'll make a full business plan for this thing. Like I'm talking about going into audiences, how to solve the problem. What does the buyer look like? How could I solve a problem for them to want to stay? And fully figuring out this business down to full stop. I don't know. That's the hobby, right? And so then, another layer of that is I might go and build it. So this one that I've built now is like an AI trading journal and trainer. And so, of course, I vibe coded it. I'm not going to go and learn how to code, even though I did do a coding subject in college. It is not my cup of tea. Reading for me is a fucking problem. So writing code and then reading it. What happens is when I try and read something, my brain's going so quickly that I'll kind of read lines ahead. So I'm kind of reading a line below it while I'm trying to read that line. And so I'm not sinking in what I'm actually supposed to be reading. So I have to go back and start it again. And that's like, a reading problem. Probably an undiagnosed literacy problem. I don't know. But reading for me is hard. So I don't code. So I vibe code. Fucking longest way to the market. That's how I go. Take the scenic route. You don't have to take the highway. That's, that should be a life lesson in life. Take the scenic route. So I vibe coded, built this whole business model, built all these funnels, built the actual program, have landing pages, email accounts, all this stuff. It's ready to go. It's ready to roar. And then just drop off. And then I'll find something else that I really love to do. And then I'll build that whole ecosystem for that business. And then I'll drop off. But then I'll cycle back. So now I'm at a cycle where I had dropped off the trading journal. And it's making a comeback. Yesterday, I opened it up and I'm like, I've got someone putting feedback in here. And I responded to them and I thought, wow, that's a really cool feedback idea. I'm going to implement it. And we will cycle through the many businesses that I love to make because that's just what I fucking do. But if I could just boost one of these and get it going, then I could take my boss's advice and I could increase how much I earn. And then maybe I could live a little healthier life and I wouldn't have to shop at grocery bargain warehouse. Although I think I always would. I'm a frugal fucker at heart. So that, I'm sure, didn't cover any bases and really just talked about my fucking faults, which is not being able to follow things through, which I can now because I will be following this podcast to the end. So yeah, that's that. And, something kind of exciting, side note. Well, there's lots of side notes. I think this whole episode is just a fucking tangent. I don't think it really has a point. But my husband is a follow-througher. He is what I'm not. He really is. He's all the things that I've always wanted to be, and I'm not. He's got just a steady, consistent cadence in life, just cruising upwards, and I'm like the fucking roller coaster ride over here. But he has got this ability to kind of ride things out and do the things that are boring, push past them and kind of see things flourish. And I think I've gotten really lucky here because I often share my hobbies with him and he's like, cool, I can make this work. And so I'm in the process now of handing one of them over to him to see how he goes. And so I don't know, what was the point of that? It's just cool. I'm very lucky. He often says the same about me, that I am everything that he's not and that he'd like to be. So I think we're a cool little team of weirdos kind of cruising around, and once we really figure out how to leverage each other's strengths, I think we'll do something nice. We will do something nice. Not that we don't do nice things. We do nice things a lot. I actually just provided him with a list of things because he says he's not he's not the most creative thinker in the world. And when I say I get bored, which I get bored a lot, I'm like, come on, just think of a date. Let's go do a date. And he kind of goes, ugh, and feels a bit on the spot and can't really think of a date. So I actually wrote this list of 2 pages worth of bullet points, worth of things to do. And I'm finding the most weird shit you can do around this area awesome. And so I delivered that to him and he's like, oh my God, thank you. He goes, I just really struggle to find exciting things that I think would be enjoyable to do. So this actually helps me out a lot. And he's going to go through that checklist and check them off. And we're going to do some fun things. You know, something that is kind of cool, and I do like to see, are these people with really good commitment. Okay, what the fuck? That could mean anything. Okay, let's dial it down and tell the story. So I love seeing people's podcasts say, so when I started my podcast, seeing other people who started their podcast and just consistently uploading, and now they have like hundreds of uploads. They have a really good following. They've really ironed out their show or, you know, their podcast and how they like to speak about things and what they like to speak about. And they're doing it. And I love seeing that. In another world, perhaps I'd be envious. Maybe I am a little bit envious. I don't know if envy's the right word. Envy's like the little green monster Mum said. And Mum used to say it's not a good thing to have. But I feel energized, perhaps. I feel energized by them. And I love seeing it. I'm like, look at that, you know, with commitment and the V power, vagina power. No. Anyway, the Power Rangers, whatever. Boop, power to just keep going, go. I love seeing that. It's really enjoyable. But as I've gotten older, I suppose, I have certainly become more able to be committed. I mean, it doesn't sound like that, does it? Because I've literally just told you about 6 hobbies I've got to go, but I do cycle back. But I find that I am able to stay a little bit more committed and stick things out. My God, I talk fast. I'm in post-edit thinking, Jesus, I'm going to give these people an aneurysm. So here's a video of me drinking water in slow motion while we have a mental break. But there you go. Frugalness, ability to stick things through, my husband who has major ability to stick things through, shopping at Grocery Bargain Warehouse, and I think it's time now to just appreciate my little puppy. Ooh. This is Jenny, by the way. I don't think that I have really introduced you to Jenny properly, but this is my baby girl. She is a rescue. I accidentally rescued her, to be honest. I moved into a little farmhouse in Australia to be closer to my dad, and I got some help. A lady came by to help me clean out the cabin, and she had these 2 dogs, and they were the cutest freaking dogs I'd ever seen. One of them was Jenny, and the other one was another little dog, and straight away I saw Jenny because Jenny looks like a mini big dog. I don't know how to explain it. She just looked like she's supposed to be big, but she was littler. And I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. And, you know, can I pat your dog? And I was just like, oh, Jenny, oh. And at the end, the lady said, would you like to keep her? And I was like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean, would you like to keep her? And she said, I can't look after her anymore. I rescued her, but she doesn't get along with my other dog, and she keeps getting out, and she's actually considered a menace because she would get out and cause fights with all the other neighborhood dogs. And she said, if you could keep her, you've got space here. You know, I think it would work well. And so I said, okay, so what, you just leave here and just leave her now with me? Like now I have a dog? She goes, yeah. And so I said, okay. And from that day, we haven't really been apart, except for if I had to travel to visit my parents or whatever, I'd have my dad look after her. But we have been together now for 6+ years. She came to the States with me from Australia. It was fucking expensive, but there's no way in hell that I would leave her, because when she came to me, I said, I promise you, you will never be left again. You'll always be with me. You're mine now, and I'm yours. And so she came with me, and I will never do it again because they won't allow dogs on the plane with you, which I would have much preferred. She had to go into the cargo hold, which is like, you know, it's not like she freezes to death and comes out unfrozen like they thaw her out or anything. It's like climate controlled and shit, but it's still frightening. She had what I say is the penthouse of all dog kennels, because I got a larger one, more large than they had recommended, because, you know, I'm not going to fucking make her sit in a little one. So they said she has like the penthouse of the little doggy kennels. But She had to spend 3 days away from me while they got her onto the flight and, acclimated her to the little kennel. And when she came out, the poor little thing, she was like, the fuck was that? Don't you ever do it again? And I won't ever do it again. I didn't like it, but I wanted her here with me. And I said, we're not moving back until, 20 years in the future when she's a bit older. I say she's gonna be the oldest dog. She's gonna go to 50 years old. We all know it's gonna happen. But yeah, that's Jenny. And she always sits here with me while I work all day. She just waits on me. We have our walks in the morning. She gets her snacks at lunchtime. And then we go for walks in the afternoon. And then we generally go to the beach to play. That's Jenny. Oh, she's so fucking cute. Oh, I just want to fucking squeeze her. By the way, you can't see Jenny if you're just listening to the podcast version of this, but I will link the video below because I am videoing now, which has been something new because when you're making a podcast, you can fuck up as much as you want and you can just like trim it out, all of the fuck ups and all of the times I say, and and or. But with video, you can't do that. It's just fucking what you see is what you get. So I will link the video so you can see little baby Jens. So I reckon we'll wrap it up there. I've probably got to get to work and I will leave you with this. Life hacks from the internet. Okay, so these ones are solid today. I did a lot of research to make sure that we get the very best out of the internet. Shit's getting tougher. We need to be more frugal. We have to think about these things. So here's life hack number 1. Want to save on electricity? Go to bed at 6 p.m. You can't spend money when you're unconscious. Okay, number 2, you can't afford to eat out? Just stand outside the restaurant and imagine. Okay, number three is too accurate. This is like heavily accurate. Okay, I even said this earlier. Is everything getting more expensive? Just refer to everything you buy as an investment. You'll feel much better. I mean, fucking accurate. This thing, it was an investment though. I don't know. And finally, life hack number 4. Is rent too expensive? Just move back in with your parents. They'll be thrilled. All right, that's all from me. I'll see you next time. If you're loving our weekly chit chat, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so we can get this podcast pumping. Also visit our website at okwhatpodcast.com.